Okay, so we have a new lawsuit, and with that comes some of the background information about how Blake Lively's lawsuit came to be in the first place.
Blake Lively is a lying liar who lies and gets caught. Honestly, at this point, I feel like there's really no need for a trial. Let Blake Lively keep talking. Let the TikTok investigators keep on investigating. And she's gonna completely snitch on herself, as she already has done.
What is most important to Justin? The 400 million or some kind of, financial settlement to make up for maybe lost work? Has he lost work? Has he lost, have people backed away from him for a future project?
A substantial amount of work. Baldoni filed a lawsuit against his former publicist, Stephanie Jones.
Hollywood is full of secrets, power struggles, and hidden agendas. But sometimes, a scandal emerges that shocks everyone and makes fans question their favorite stars. The latest controversy involves Blake Lively, an actress admired for her charm, elegance, and spotless reputation. Rumors suggest she may have pressured an ex-assistant into leaking private texts.
My nose is so big.
I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. We're gonna call an insurance month and just deal with that.
Yeah.
And then,
God.
just kidding.
No, it's true. That's why we hired Danny Blake too, right?
Lively's complaint included screen captures of text messages and correspondence that Lively's team allegedly showed orchestrated attempts on the part of Baldoni's PR representative to hurt her reputation in the media as part of a social manipulation campaign.
New allegations suggest that Blake Lively may not be as innocent as she seems. A former assistant, Stephanie Jones, claims she was blackmailed into leaking private text messages that could harm Lively's reputation. But why would such a respected actress do this? What's in those messages? And how is Hollywood reacting to these shocking claims? Let's dive into the details.
So there was mediation, there was an idea of mediation, and both sides, your side and Blake, shot it down. Were you open to mediating this, and the other side said no? Because, I don't understand why this could and should end, but it has to be them, right?
Well, I'll comment on what I can. In what was filed with the court before the Rule 26 hearing, question was asked about whether we would be willing to go to mediation, whether we were open to that. Our answer to that was no. We're not willing to do anything until Justin is clear of being called a predator, of being called a sexual harassment.
As we got our first motion to dismiss. Yeehaw, here we go. So, I am hoping that our dear BB will actually do a video later for motions to dismiss. I will go. She's better at that stuff than I am. I'm just going to go straight into the content of it. And then if people have questions, I'll follow up and try to follow up. But the first motion to dismiss, and this is the motion to dismiss all or part of a complaint that has been filed against each party has the right to do that. And the first one has come from Leslie Sloan and Vision PR. So this is Blake Lively's publicist and that publicist. They were included with Blake and with Ryan in Justin Baldoni's CPS. They were not included in all of the claims, they were included in some of them. And she is asking the court to dismiss all of the ones that she included. Here's the reason.
New claims suggest Blake Lively might not be as innocent as she seems. Her former assistant, Stephanie Jones, says she was forced to leak private texts that could damage Lively's reputation. But why would a well-respected actress do this? What's in those messages? And how is Hollywood responding? Let's find out.
Developments this morning in that heated legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, the former co-stars from It Ends With Us. Now, Baldoni is pointing the finger at his former publicist, blaming her for setting this months-long legal fight into motion. NBC's entertainment correspondent Chloe Molas here with more. It feels like one lawsuit after another, but this is different.
6 in total, so I'm going to try to break it down for you guys because there is a lot of things going on. So Justin Baldoni's new lawsuit filed on Friday claims that his former publicist, a woman named Stephanie Jones, maliciously passed on data from a former employee's phone, including text messages to Blake Lively's team. Now, an attorney for Baldoni states that this set off a, quote, catastrophic sequence of events, violating the most basic of privacy rights.
Jones says that while working for top celebrities, she had access to private conversations, documents, and texts. Secrets Hollywood's elite wanted to keep hidden. She never planned to reveal anything, but that changed when she claims Blake Lively pressured her.
The decision to amend our lawsuit was a logical next step due to the overwhelming amount of new proof that has come to light. This fresh evidence corroborates what we knew all along. Due to pure egotistical reasons, Ms. Lively and her entire team colluded for months to destroy reputations through a complex web of lies, false accusations, and manipulation of illicitly received communications. The ongoing public interest in this case online has ironically shed light on the undeniable facts pertaining to the New York Times, how heavily Ms. Lively and her representatives were not only deeply involved in the attempted takedown and smear campaign of Mr. Baldoni, Wayfair Studios, and their teams, but that they themselves initiated.
In an interview on a popular entertainment podcast, Jones said Lively approached her in a way that felt intimidating and impossible to refuse. But what was so sensitive that Lively allegedly resorted to blackmail? The answer lies in a series of private text messages.
Baldoni's attorney filed an amended lawsuit against Taylor Swift's factory. In that, he included new allegations and a very detailed timeline that has shown Ryan Reynolds' wife behave in ways that are despicable. What I left in the timeline, the shampoo company owner forced Sony, the film distributor, to remove the film by credit, even though Justin Baldoni don't see the movie. We find out now how even more unprofessional she is. May 2nd, while Lively is holding the film hostage in the editing, she is simultaneously stalling the film footage by refusing to approve key materials, including the trailer release. Which happened 3 months until film premiere, Sony justly alarmed about the delayed rollout of the trailer, a cornerstone of the promotional campaign. In the Texas case between teams, a Sony film executive and a Sony marketing executive who had just spoken with Lively, they informed Pete of Lively's still escalating demand.
Leaked online just weeks ago, these texts have shocked the entertainment industry. In them, Blake Lively allegedly talks about influencing casting decisions, favoring certain actors, and sidelining rising stars who didn't fit her vision for projects. In one message, she reportedly says a promising young actress should be removed from a film because she doesn't fit the image Hollywood needs right now.
Adding to the pressure, Lively made a veiled threat, implying she might change her mind about reaching out to Taylor Swift to secure the use of 9 tiers of Ricochet and playlist. Her demands are not met. She is threatening with subtraction right now. But his specific partner refuses to acquiesce for more time. The Sony marketing executive delivers a short and pointed warning. You don't want to play ball? You're going to delay and greatly hurt the movie. Pretty rough. This self-response signals that Sony should was beginning to apply pressure on Wayfair, effectively strong arming them into compliance. Even though Sony had previously said, they're moving, we're just distributing. That's it makes it clear that the studio is growing increasingly frustrating situation that is fair to hold Wayfair accountable for the fallout, adding yet another layer of tension to the already strong dynamic. Negative hits.
These texts also mention interactions with powerful Hollywood executives, suggesting that career-changing decisions were made through secret deals rather than talent. If true, they could expose a hidden side of the industry, where influence matters more than merit, and stars have more control than fans realize.
Late last night, Justin Baldoni's team filed an amended complaint in their lawsuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, the New York Times, In it, dropped an exhibit that is basically a timeline with a lot more evidence, including text messages between Justin and Ryan.
Baldoni used to be directed by Steph Jones' company, Jones Works PR. Working at Steph Jones' company was his lead publicist, Jen Abel. Jen Abel and Stephanie Jones had a very bitter breakup professionally. According to reports, Steph Jones had gotten word that Jen Abel was getting ready to leave and start her own PR agency. She tried to get her to stay, that didn't work out, and then one day, all hell broke loose when she got fired. I'll detail exactly what happened in a moment, but in his just filed complaint, Baldoni alleges Steph Jones maliciously leaked Jen Abel's text messages to Blake Lively's team and thus suing all the legal drama I'm recovering now from it. Remember, it was actually Steph Jones who filed the very first lawsuit in everything related to the Independence saga. Back in December, before Blake Lively's Lively sued Baldoni, Steph Jones sued him for each contract amongst other claims. Steph Jones alleges that she had a year-long agreement with Baldoni to represent him and the Labor Studio production. And she wants the rest of her money.
But the story takes a darker turn. Jones claims she never wanted to leak the texts. Blake Lively allegedly pressured her with threats to make sure she complied. According to Jones, Lively wanted to control the story before someone else exposed the messages, using her as a scapegoat. She told me it was the only way to handle the fallout, Jones said. If I didn't do it, she would make sure I never worked in the industry again. But why would Lively want the messages leaked on her own terms? Some believe it was damage control, making her look like a victim instead of the culprit. Others suspect an even bigger plan behind it all.
Baldoni's lawsuit contains pages upon pages of text messages that Friedman told CNN are proof that the text messages published in Lively's initial complaint were doctored and manipulated. He alleges in his complaint that the Times intentionally omitted texts which dispute Lively's narrative. The messages also show Lively's involvement in creative discussions about her character's wardrobe, with one exchange in particular revealing her own desire for more attractive clothing. Baldoni's lawsuit claims that the New York Times reported a biased story, favoring Lively's side and ignoring evidence that contradicted her narrative. The outlet has, however, maintained that the reporting was accurate and thorough. The Gossip Girl star sued her co-star in an 8-page lawsuit, citing multiple misconducts, including inappropriate comments and actions by him and producer Jamie Heath.
Hollywood insiders haven't stayed quiet about this. Several anonymous sources claim this isn't the first time Blake Lively has used her influence to control information. A former colleague, who chose to remain unnamed, alleged that Lively has a history of quietly suppressing negative stories about herself while strategically releasing ones that benefit her. She's a strategist, always has been, said one industry veteran. She's incredibly calculated when it comes to her public image. Every move is deliberate. Adding to the controversy, some believe Stephanie Jones isn't the only one pressured by Lively. Allegedly, other assistants and industry workers have similar experiences but are too afraid to speak out, fearing it could cost them their careers.
The latest lawsuit paints Stephanie Jones as growing increasingly paranoid and rattled by negative press about her. Press that covered exodus clients were leaving her company and that described her as an erratic screamer. The complaint claims Steph Jones, who was relying on a psychic, started to plan a revenge campaign against Baldoni and Jen Abel as they both announced their plans to exit Jones Works. So, Jen Abel had announced that she was leaving. 2 days before her planned final day, she went into the office where she was confronted by a physically imposing security guard, a forensic data extraction technical expert, and an attorney sitting at a conference table awash in documents. After being ushered into the conference room, Abel noticed that the security guard was posted just outside his doors, positioned between the conference room and the office entrance, blocking the exit. There, the attorney gestured at the documents and instructed Abel to review and sign them. The attorney stated that Jones' Works suspected Abel had retained proprietary information on her personal laptop. Abel was told Jones' Works would have grounds to sue if she did not allow that access. Complaint alleges that Abel, who was confident that her computer contained no such data, turned over the device. She was pressured to relinquish the phone as well. She agreed so long as they would confirm that Jones' Works would immediately release her personal cell phone number, but enable Jones' Works to take possession of the physical device without gaining unrestricted access to its contents. The complaint continued. Draft confirmation from the Jones' Works chief of staff attorney, they would release the phone number as she went straight to the Verizon store. Abel handed them the phone and was ushered out of the building as her colleagues watched.
While these claims are unverified, they highlight the power dynamics in Hollywood, where top stars aren't just entertainers but also skilled manipulators behind the scenes. Interestingly, Isabella Ferrer, who played young Lily in Asterisk It Ends with Us Asterisk, recently described the film set as a comfortable and welcoming place. This contradicts Lively's claims about the challenges she faced, raising even more questions about her honesty.
In whether it's this or whether it's whatever.
I mean, we had a phenomenal intimacy coordinator, Lindsay. She's worked on Bridgerton before, so she was extra careful with us at all times. But also, there's just a lot of communication and check-ins and making sure how you're feeling, how it's going, and a lot of water, making sure we feel physically but also mentally well while doing such intense scenes, because it takes a long time. It's a choreographed thing. You have to rehearse the choreography. It's like a dance, you know? It's not just oh, I guess we'll do this and then it'll lead to that. Everything is so specific because it is so intimate that it can get tiring, but it was a great process, honestly.
Was that your first time going through a process like that?
When I was in school for acting,
So Isabella basically refutes everything, because Blake didn't even just make the accusations that she was uncomfortable. She said that Isabella was, and that Justin was making these inappropriate comments to her during the intimate scenes. And yet Isabella's saying that, no, we had an intimacy coordinator on set and it was super coordinated. You weren't just doing whatever you wanted. So that refutes everything Blake Lively said. What do you think? Does this prove what Blake Lively had said wrong? Of course, she's not talking about Blake's situation. And in Justin Baldoni's new amended complaint, he does say that Blake and Isabella weren't on set together. So how does Blake know how those scenes went?
Even some celebrities have reacted to the drama. When asked about the allegations, actress and longtime friend Anna Kendrick gave a vague response, saying, Asterisk Blake is a very smart woman. I think she knows how to handle things better than most. Asterisk, her unclear comment left fans wondering, was she defending Lively or subtly calling her out?
Remember when Blake Lively said this?
He works on everything I do. I work on everything he does. So his wins, his celebrations are mine, and mine are his.
Well, apparently this is true. And Ryan Reynolds' involvement in her movie A Simple Favor was due to kind of a lie by omission that Blake Lively told director Paul Feig when suggesting using his gin brand to feature in the movie. So gin martinis are kind of a key aspect of the movie A Simple Favor. And during several scenes, you can see Aviation American Gin, which is a gin brand created by Ryan Reynolds. So not only was it featured heavily in the movie, but it was also featured in this ad. And Blake did this during the ad as well.
Did you just dump that good booze on the floor, Blake Lively?
Oh, yeah, you just want to put come on, you should know about style. Look at you. We have such a blast in this film, and I think you can see that when you watch it. It really jumps off the screen. Next, when it comes time for the gin, and you want to make sure the gin is
Now, the movie can get pretty dark, but in a really fun way with lots of twists and turns.
According to Paul Feig, he was, quote, trying to clear another gin, and Blake's like, hey, Ryan's got this gin that he really likes. He said she really likes the company and everyone involved.
but she never said that it was Ryan's brand. She just said that Ryan liked this gin. Was this purposefully misleading to get him to use the gin brand? Possibly. He said, I wouldn't have done it if I didn't like the look of it on screen, but I really thought the bottle looked fantastic. So I honestly didn't even realize the level of involvement that Ryan had in it, but I think it's great. It's a really good gin.
Meanwhile, celebrities like Jennifer Lawrence have spoken out about Hollywood's culture of secrecy and power struggles. While she hasn't directly addressed the Lively scandal, she recently said in an interview, asterisk people in this industry will do anything to stay on top. Asterisk, some believe this was a subtle reference to the ongoing controversy.
Now, also this week, there's been some other developments. This new filing from Baldoni comes just days after Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, filed separate motions to dismiss Baldoni's defamation lawsuit against them. Lively saying that she had a legal right to file her lawsuit and that Baldoni is now retaliating against her for publicly speaking out.
As expected, public opinion is divided. Some believe Stephanie Jones is telling the truth and that Blake Lively should be held accountable if she really manipulated her way through Hollywood. Fans have taken to social media, demanding more transparency and accountability in the industry. They argue that even the most popular stars shouldn't be above scrutiny, especially since Lively was already caught lying about reading asterisk it ends with us asterisk and knowing Colleen Hoover before getting the lead role in the film adaptation.
Not only has Blake Lively lied about reading the book, but she's also lied about knowing Colleen Hoover. And shout out to Elsie, this creator that caught Blake Lively in the Colleen Hoover lie.
I lived under a rock because I hadn't heard of Colleen Hoover before they came to me with this movie. The reason that I was excited to do this movie is that I saw the mention of your name. I was like, oh wow, her voice resonates with people. How she tells stories and what she's telling reaches out and grabs so many people.
We already know that Blake Lively has lied about reading the book because, I'm sorry, if you've ever watched an interview with Blake Lively, she 1000% has not read the book. That is what the interview gives.
That Christelle did a great job transcribing and adapting and growing the screenplay from the book. Like she lifted all of the right heart and soul from the book and all of the through lines of the character and then make sure that we're not just making a replica of the book if it isn't always the best and most authentic choice. Very true adaptation of the book. Like it is very, very, very true to the book, and it is even outside of the book, like because everybody came to it, given the authorship to bring the most honest performance. And then
She says a lot, but at the same time, she says nothing. Blake never gives detailed examples of how that book was brought to life because she does not know the exact details of the book.
On the other hand, some fans refuse to believe the allegations, arguing that Lively's clean record and professional reputation don't match these claims. Some have even accused Jones of making up the story for attention or financial gain.
Guys, I think we have further proof that Blake Lively has lied about the intimacy coordinator situation on It Ends With Us. And I noted this in the amended lawsuit that he submitted yesterday. I believe it was Friday, January 31st. This is February 1st recording, and I want to show you this document first, and then I want to show you a couple interviews. Well, one interview and a couple snippets of it that Isabella did, and she was young Lily. He, as cast members, also unfollowed Baldoni, creating the false impression that Baldoni had done something wrong. Honestly, always showered on him. For example, Isabella Ferrer, cast as young Lily, exchanged grateful texts with Baldoni during and after her filming shoot, which included a number of scenes involving intimacy. Justin sent her a message. You did awesome today. So happy to be working with you. And Isabella said, thank you so much. I'm so excited. Thank you for being a great director and being so wonderful to work with already. So let me know. I'll put things redacted. Whenever you need me for a honey, or maybe it's just can't tell if something's taken out or she just gets into it. Justin Baldoni's so kind. More to come. You are going to kill it. Isabella, love, so kind. More to come. Isabella, hey, I just got my film developed from when we were shooting. So here's a sweet check. I also want to say thank you so much for an incredible experience on my first film. Still can't shake the feeling of all because it truly was life-changing for me. You're such a wonderful, smart, and sincere director, and you create a comfortable, safe space for me to feel like I can fully accept this role. I'm going to ask for a more welcoming environment, and will stay with me for the rest of my life. See you soon, whether in the fall or later, if we're doing well. And then she attached a picture. Justin says, oh, wow, what a kind message. He says, you're such a joy and pleasure to work with.
Your openness, your raw talent, your kindness, and your respect when you fall in love with directing again. I'm so excited for your career and for everyone seeing this film. You have a big career in front of you. Looking forward to seeing you again in September, even if we don't need you to work. Tellingly, Frere worked with Baldoni when Lively was not on set. It was not until Frere spent substantial time with Lively during film promotions that she felt compelled to shove Baldoni in repudiation of her warm words.
One Twitter user wrote, "Blake Lively is one of the classiest women in Hollywood. I refuse to believe any of this nonsense." Asterisk, another responded, asterisk, Hollywood is built on secrets. Just because someone seems nice in public doesn't mean they aren't playing dirty behind closed doors. As for Lively, she has mostly stayed silent, only releasing a brief statement through her publicist. These allegations are false, defamatory, and will be handled through the proper legal channels. Asterisk, however, in Hollywood, silence can sometimes say more than words.
Lively alleges that Baldoni and Heath reportedly and repeatedly entered her trailer uninvited, even during private moments, and that they touched others on set in a way that made her feel uncomfortable. Now, Justin denies the allegations in his lawsuit. In another text exchange, Justin's legal team appears to be contesting Blake Lively's claim that her intimate scenes were unscripted and unplanned. Justin's evidence allegedly shows that an intimacy coordinator was present on set, but Blake reportedly delayed meeting them until filming even began. Now, he further disputes Blake's claims about incidents, such as, him and Jamie entering the trailer, arguing that these, actions were not inappropriate. And according to Justin, Blake was at ease with their presence and even invited him to rehearse lines while she was feeding her child. He also clarified that an incident where Jamie allegedly saw Blake shirtless was misrepresented. She was actually covered, and Jamie had not and been invited in for a meeting. Baldoni's lawyer wrote, "Both Heath and Baldoni have children and are comfortable around feeding mothers, and Lively seemed equally comfortable. In fact, Baldoni's wife co-founded a company that makes a feeding garment for babies, a prototype that originated with his mother when he was a baby."
So what's next in this drama? Will Blake Lively sue Jones for defamation? Or will the scandal fade as Hollywood moves on to the next big controversy? Meanwhile, Stephanie Jones may have risked her career by speaking out. Whether she'll be seen as a whistleblower or dismissed as a troublemaker is still unclear.
Now, an attorney for Baldoni states that this set off a, quote, catastrophic sequence of events, violating the most basic of privacy rights. Competing lawsuits, now 6 in all, gained attention in December, with Lively's lawsuit against Baldoni for harassment and an alleged smear campaign perpetrated by Baldoni and his publicity team. Jones has also sued Baldoni, claiming he and his publicity team conspired to harm her and steal her clients in conjunction with their efforts to allegedly launch a smear campaign against Lively. Now, an accusation that the publicists working with Baldoni have repeatedly denied. And in a statement to NBC News about Baldoni's latest lawsuit against her, Jones's attorney said this in part, quote, "Having no facts or evidence, we see a familiar playbook. Smear our client, culminating in the work of fiction masquerading as the counterclaims that were filed yesterday."
One thing is certain, this scandal has sparked important conversations about power, influence, and secrecy in Hollywood. Whether the allegations are true or not, it's a reminder that in an industry built on illusions, the truth is often more complicated than it seems. What do you think? Is Blake Lively guilty? Or is Stephanie Jones just seeking attention? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into Hollywood's biggest scandals. Until next time, stay curious, because in Hollywood, the truth is often stranger than fiction.